Hello YouTube. Pretty sure my last video uploaded all screwy. It comes down to my phone is getting old and the flippery thing doesn't register anymore. So sorry, Trollforge. This is how I gotta make videos for now until I either get a new phone or until I get a camera and computer to actually do YouTube. Gotta be honest, I'm on a budget. YouTube is not the top priority list right now, folks. Anyways, speaking of priorities, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna have a chat. We're gonna look at my crummy construction. Haven't got any further on the stairs, guys. I'm gonna do some changes. I actually don't like them. Gonna replace the rails, raise it up, a few other things. But this deals with drop the fantasy. This video is inspired by a few videos, nothing way out there or anything, but guys I actually watch and guys that I actually talk to. For instance, conversations with both Hooples and Steve from Corsair Trainers. Sorry, Hooples, Cat Emergency Preparedness, and Steve of Corsair Trainers. This deals with, especially with what my most recent conversation with Steve, I've been hit in the head. Like, really hit in the head. It hurts. And when it doesn't hurt, it means you're knocked the hell out. You're asleep. It doesn't take that hard of a hit to mess a person up. But there are so many of us in this community that sit there and go, oh, I'm Rambo. I can do whatever. No, you can't. I will never be the one that turns on my friends. Yes, you will. Now, I'm going to give you a list of scenarios, some of which I have lived through, some of which I haven't. We're not going to get into what specifically I have or not, but you ever been burnt? Like, you're awake, you're alive, and your flesh is on fire. I don't mean, ow, I touched the stove. I mean actually burnt. Do you honestly think if someone was actually burning you with a fuel or a piece of steel, you would sit there and not tell them where all your stuff is? I've heard of stories of people selling out their kids for way less. So, we're not all movie characters, guys. Just please keep this in mind. Like, you get the idea is a head trauma, torture, true torture when people are really messed up, people are really starving, people are really wanting what you got. They're not going to start with the tickle with the feather. They're going to start with cutting off a toe. They're going to start with bashing your leg open. I'm sorry, I have dealt with some pain in my life, and I've worked through some of it, but man alive, let me tell you, there's not a Navy SEAL in the world that will tell you, you cut off his pecker, he's screaming what his kid's fucking middle name is pretty quick. These are things you just need to realize about. For instance, when you deal with, ever had real stress that involves your loved ones? These are things that can break your whole fantasy down. We can all jump down the stairs, grab our guns, ready to defend, ready to march up like a Rambo. We've all had these little fantasies or whatever. But have you ever been in a situation where one of your loved ones was in actual danger? I don't mean armed gunman. I mean car accident. I mean, for instance, your daughter is bleeding out. What do? Can you react fast enough? Can you be calm in that situation? There is no time to pretend you're Rambo at that point, guys. When people you love actually matter. There's tons of times where you hear soldiers, firefighters, paramedics, medical personnel have froze up just from the situation happening. I'm not saying that you guys are going to do this or that everyone is going to do this, but please stop the I am Rambo, I am perfect, I will figure it all out. Has any of you ever actually dealt with a horrible depression situation where you're actually depressed, like it would be, many people talk about, if everything went to crap? You're going to have some good times, you're going to have some bad times, but we live in a very pampered society. I don't care where you live. If you are listening to my message, you're pretty pampered. So, have you ever really dealt with horrible depression and been able to pull yourself out of it? These are, again, things you need to think about. It's not saying everyone is going to just get depressed and give up. What I'm saying is realize and adjust. Don't just assume you're Superman. You know, like, ever had to fight an addiction or write off a family member or a friend, a deep, close friend? These, again, are things you might have to deal with. Caffeine addiction doesn't sound like a bad thing, right? It seems like a joke. You ever dealt with someone who hasn't had coffee when they're a 3 coffee a day person and they don't drink coffee for a day? Man, you don't want to be around them. Imagine that for drugs. Imagine you're someone with an addiction. For instance, alcohol, cigarettes, any type of drug, whatever it happens to be. But these are things I just want you to all think about. I'd really like some of your comments on this, guys. Like, can we stop the Rambo crap? Can we really just focus on, forget all the fantasies and just figure it out. Do what you need to do. We don't need to do a bow drill. We need a Bic. Thanks for watching, guys. Really hope you take this to heart. Again, I apologize for the style of videos now. Have a good night. Bye.